Hello, my love. Today we are going to talk about offers not selling. So, if you have a coaching offer that isn't selling, I'm going to give you four questions you can ask, and the answers that you come up with are going to give you the answers that you need. So, the first thing about your coaching offer is it solving a problem? Because if it's not solving a problem for somebody, then why do they need it? So there are a small percentage of offers that fit into another category, but most coaching is solving a problem. So, what is the problem you're solving? Do you know that? Because when you know what the problem is, it's going to help you to know how to talk about those problems and how to talk about how your offer solves the problem. So, the first one is it solving a problem? Second one is how is the how clear? So, is how you solve that problem clear? And the reason that that's important is because we've all bought smoke and mirrors, right? The coaching industry is going through a bit of a rough time, or has been for a while, because a lot of people are crap coaches and they're ripping people off and they're selling one thing and they're delivering something completely different. So it's not enough to just say, oh, I'm going to help you make $1 million, or I'm going to help you lose, 50 kilos, or I'm going to help you find the love of your life, or I'm going to help you build $1 million business, or any of those things. It's not enough just to say that. You need to let people know that you actually have a framework. You know how to achieve that result, so that when people are looking at your sales page or you're talking them through your framework, they can make sense of that. They're like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that this is how we would do this. And people, coaches often worry that if they give away the how, then people will just go and do it on their own. That's not true. We don't have to give every detail, but we need to let our potential clients know that we have a framework. But also, it's human nature. We don't do things on our own. We need people to help us. We need coaches. We need support. That's why coaching will never go away. That's why it doesn't matter how much free content you produce, it will never be well, it's a second best compared to working with you one on one. Nothing can compare with working with you as a coach and client. So, free content can't compare with you being a coach for somebody. All right. So, don't ever worry about that. So, yeah, is the how clear? How are you going to help them achieve this result? They've got to know that you know what you're doing and you have a path forward. A client success pathway is what I call it. The next thing, or the third question, is the ROI evident? So, is it really obvious about what somebody is going to get out of buying your program or your coaching package? Is it clear? And so, an ROI in business could be money. I've got a program called the 5K Formula for Coaches, and the tagline is create and sell your first $5,000 coaching offer in 4 weeks or less. That's an offer I stand behind. A lot of people have made 20,000, sold full packages, sold $20,000 worth of coaching packages after being in a big drought. So that's something that I can stand behind. It's a financial ROI. And back in the day, I used to charge $5,000 for that program. It's now part of my FEMPIRE builders for January. I'm running a live round. We start on the 17th. So go get yourself into FEMPIRE builders. There's a free trial. You can go and have a look. But I'm running the 5K formula as a live program in FEMPIRE builders starting on the 17th. Anyway, back in the day, I used to sell that program for $5,000, and it was very easy for people to understand that, oh, all I've got to do is sell one program and I will pay for the cost of the coaching, and then I'll know how to sell these packages forever after, right? Even at 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 100,000, the principles are the same. So is your ROI evident? Now, as I said, as a business coach, financial ROIs are pretty, they're a solid promise to make if you can keep the promise. But it might be something more fluid, right? So, say you're a relationship coach. You're never going to promise somebody that I will find you the love of your life, or, you will meet your husband in the first 6 weeks, or whatever it is. Like, you don't want to make promises like that because you can't control human beings, right? But you can create an ROI that is true. I remember working with a relationship coach, and she was trying to figure out her ROI. And I work with a lot of business coaches. So She was one of the life coaches in the program, and she's like, I know you can create an ROI on, the $5,000 offer, or this coach can make an ROI really clear on this, but I can't, what do I do here? And I'm like, okay, what do people want? And she said, well, they're in confusion, they're in relationships, and they want to know if they can stay or go. They're trying to make this decision because I was asking her, what's the problem you solve? And she said, well, I help them make a decision about whether to stay in the relationship or go. I said, well, there's your ROI. You can make the ROI by the end of this program or the end of this coaching, you will have your decision about whether you stay or go. And that's a really easy ROI, right? So it doesn't have to be a dollar amount, but how is somebody's life going to change after working with you? Because that's what's important, right? They need to know what's going to be different before they start working with you and after they start working with you. So, what is the ROI, the return on investment? And finally, do you stand behind your offer? You've got to run it through the filter, that energy filter. Do you feel like there's any friction when you run through that filter? Is it like, I think the price is a little bit high, or, I've added this thing and I don't really feel confident in delivering that part of it? If there's anything other than a full body click into place, yes, I stand behind this offer, then go rework the offer until you have that level of conviction around your product. Because if you don't have that level of conviction and confidence around your offer, nobody else is going to have it. All right. So super important that you do that. So there are the 4 questions that I want you to ask yourself. Is this solving a problem? And is that clear, right? You've got to be clear about that. Is the how you solve the problem clear? Is the ROI evident? And do you stand behind your offer? If you don't know what problem you're solving, then you've got to go figure that out because, well, you won't sell it without it. Like you've got to figure out what problem is you're solving. The how, if you don't know how, if you can't articulate how you're going to get someone a result, then that tells me you don't really know that you're going to be able to get that result. So you've got to figure that out. Next, is the ROI evident? You've got to make a big promise and know how to keep it. If you're not making a big promise, you don't know what the ROI is, you've got to figure that out because people are very selfish. They just want to know, what am I going to get from this? And if you can't tell them what that is, then why would they say yes? And finally, do you stand behind the offer? There's this intangible kind of energy that goes out online. And if you are not sold on your offer, other people are going to pick up on that. Even if you're saying all the right things, energetically, it's going to be off and people will smell a rat because people are really gun shy on, I'm not allowed to say that word, am I? People are really spooked with investing because they've been burned so many times. So you've got to be really clear and upfront about what's in it for them and why they should say yes. Now, that's obviously one thing. That is why your offers aren't selling. So that's the offer itself. So this is assuming that you have leads, that you're running discovery calls, and all of those things are happening and people are saying no, right? If you have a program or a product that is there and you're selling it, but you don't have leads and you don't have discovery calls or whatever your conversion event is, if you're not having people go through that, then I guess it's not an offer problem. You don't even know if it's an offer problem. You've got a marketing problem. And so you've got to discern, is this a marketing problem or is this an offer problem? Because you don't want to be fixing things that aren't broken. You want to be fixing the right thing at the right time. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up, where they get stuck. They don't know what the problem is. They don't know how to identify the problem and they just make it up in their mind. They think, oh, well, it's because nobody wants to buy my product, or it's because I'm a new coach or whatever. And a lot of the time, a lot of the problems that you will have, a lot of the problems that you have that can be solved with marketing and the right type of marketing, but the offer's got to be in place first. So figure out, do you have an offer problem because you're getting leads and you're getting calls and people are saying no, and you need to figure out, why is this thing not selling? Then the other thing to look at is, well, I don't know because I haven't had any discovery calls. I haven't had any inquiries, that means you've got a marketing problem and you've got to tackle that before you will even know whether this is something that will sell or not. All right, I hope that helps. If you need support around any of these things, then head into FEMPIRE Builders, grab your free week. I also have my mastermind that is enrolling at the moment. That is my signature program, my 12-month program called She Mastermind, Scaled High Ticket Empire Mastermind. And that is the place to be if it's in the budget and you're looking for a mentor. This is not my first rodeo. I've been doing this a very long time and I can hook you up with success. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go workshop those questions and let's get those courses selling, those programs selling, those coaching packages selling fast.